California state parks lifeguards have been around for nearly 100 years, yet it wasn't until recently that they came to the northern shores of California. For 2 years now, Del Norte's North Coast Junior Lifeguards have been active, training at Crescent Beach and Trinidad State Beach. I got the privilege to attend an August 18th training as a reporter, meaning I thankfully didn't have to hop into the cold ocean. When I arrived at Crescent Beach, the parking lot was packed, and the beach was dotted with tents, surfboards, coolers, lifeguards, junior lifeguards, and their families. The first person I spoke to was Dylan Clevenger.
Dylan Clevenger, I'm a non-badged permanent lifeguard with the state parks.
And what does that mean?
Means I lifeguard all year long, right here in Humboldt and Del Norte. Basically first responders. Our main duty is to protect the public from the ocean. And in this area, that's a pretty rough ocean.
So you're essentially like a full-time lifeguard, that's here.
Exactly.
And what does it involve to become a lifeguard?
We have a training for the state parks down in Huntington Beach. We all pass the same training. There's a tryout swim, whole series of steps to get in, and then once you're in, you have to maintain your cert every year. The California State Parks certification is, I think, one of the better ones, obviously in the state of California, but also in the whole country and maybe even in the world. It's a pretty good program.
And what does that certification involve? Is it doing this training that gets you the certification?
Yeah, it definitely helps to swim. Having knowledge of the ocean is the most important part of the whole process. Being able to get out through the waves, being able to not only get yourself out into the ocean on pretty much any given day, but also be able to get out to a victim, someone who's either drowned or drowning, and help them in, which is a lot harder.
And these lifeguards, do they respond to incidents, or are they more like swimming pool lifeguards?
No, I would say it's very different from your swimming pool lifeguard. And not better or worse, just different. Like, we are primarily on the beaches. We work the ocean. You have to be able to interpret this environment that changes every day. The swell could be different every day. Rip currents could form differently every day. There's different beach hazards on every beach that we work. So just having knowledge of the coast, knowledge of your coast is paramount.
And what's the most common kind of incident that a lifeguard would have to respond to?
Probably a traffic collision. But for ocean, it's probably rip currents or people getting swept off rocks. In Humboldt, it's people just getting swept right off the beach. Sneaker waves is what they call them, but just long interval swells and people just not having that knowledge of the beach or what's going on that day. And, you know, people in these counties, they come out fully clothed, they have no intention of getting in the water, and then they're swept out against their will. A lot of times never to be seen again, so it's a serious area.
Right. And what kind of equipment do you usually use in rescues?
Rescue board, buoys, and fins are the three main pieces of equipment that all lifeguards are trained on.
So what does it take to become a junior lifeguard?
You just have to sign up online to become a junior lifeguard. You have to kind of have the passion and the drive to go put yourself out in the ocean here, because it's not the easiest, like I said. But you just sign up online, California State Parks website, North Coast Junior Lifeguards. We'll get you in there. We'll work with anybody. It's a pretty safe place for everybody. And that's a pretty simple process.
And what's the age range for the junior lifeguards?
7 to 17 here.
And then these are people that the adult lifeguards? Or?
7 to 18. These are our assistants. Those are our assistants and lifeguards mixed together. And assistants, they help us out. They kind of work for us for free. And I'm about to talk to them about the benefits of being an aide a little bit more again. But here at this program, we hire assistants. 16 of our 20 seasonal guards are former assistants. And so you're on a pathway to get yourself pretty much the best job you can get as a teenager.
So it's like a kind of what would you call it, chain of command, and people kind of work their way up?
That's right, yeah. You do junior guards, you become an assistant, and then you can become a lifeguard. It's not for everybody, but that is like the typical process. That's the process we've kind of followed here.
And do the lifeguards work with other organizations like the Coast Guard?
That's right. Yeah, in Humboldt we work closely with the Coast Guard. Coast Guard just took their station away here in Crescent City, so we no longer really have a partnership here in Crescent City with the Coast Guard, but I would say us and the Coast Guard, we work together very closely in Humboldt and have great camaraderie. And we also work with local fire agencies, Humboldt Bay Fire, Water Rescue. We work with the ambulances. A lot of us are EMTs. Having that camaraderie, that partnership is essential.
Dylan then directed me to his assistant lifeguards. They were able to provide a window into what it's like being an assistant lifeguard. What's it like being a lifeguard assistant?
It's pretty fun. There's a lot of benefits to it. So I love helping the younger kids work and get to know the water better. And they overcome a lot of their fears. So like yesterday we helped kids go into the water with their surfboards, and a lot of them were scared, but at the end most of them finished going around a buoy at the back, and yeah, it was really fun helping them.
So being an assistant is mostly working with the junior lifeguards?
Yeah, and also you learn a lot more on a deeper perspective of being a younger kid, because then we're, yeah.
So what is it like for you guys being lifeguard assistants?
A lot of experience, getting prepared for being an actual lifeguard.
A lot of like hard work that's worth it, like teaching these kids, helping them learn to surf, just work on the beach, swimming, paddling.
Yeah.
And what's the day-to-day life like for a lifeguard assistant?
Get here at 10, help with workouts. We usually run on the beach a little bit, and we help keep the kids more organized and together. And when we're in the water, we have like a line of aids, keeping kids from going out of like bounds of, yeah.
And how often do you have to come here and work?
I've been doing it for about 5 years, so it's every summer.
Yeah, I really like being in the water and helping the kids out and honing their skills in.
So you also enjoy working with youth?
Yes, I'd say so.
Yeah, it's nice to push a kid into a wave and see them get that wave, and then when they get out of the water, just a smile on their face.
After some time had passed and everyone had donned their wetsuits, it was time for the relays to begin. The assistant lifeguards went first to show the junior lifeguards the challenge at hand. In the instant they yelled go, the lifeguards were off, sprinting away into the fog until they faded from view. A few seconds later, a wave of figures could be seen sprinting from the fog. They weren't stopping though, they ran straight into the ocean. Their goal was to swim out to an orange buoy and back.
So what's it like being out on the waves?
Pretty freezing, but it's pretty cool. I like just the surfing, and I like the water. It's great waves compared to, there's not many spots around here that are like it.
I noticed they looked very chaotic, all the boards getting flung around. Is that, what's it like dealing with that?
I gotta like duck and cover sometimes, especially if it's a hard top, but if it's a soft top, it's not that big of a deal. If the boards hits you, it's not too bad usually.
Are there a lot of injuries? Do people get hurt?
Very far few between, not very often at all.
And I noticed somebody had a torn wetsuit. Is that common too?
No, not usually. Pretty much all the wetsuits stay good, but sometimes it happens.
And how do you get through the wave when it's crashing over you?
If you're on a surfboard, you can turn over and you go under, or you just dive under the wave, I guess. Yeah, you reach down really far and you touch the sand so you don't get pushed back by the wave.
Is it difficult?
No, it's pretty easy. You just like a normal dive kind of in a pool, and you just dive under the wave.
And how many times have you done this before?
The camp?
But just everything. Training.
This is our 4th year doing it for me and her, and it's like the same curriculum every single week. We do the exact, this is always done on Friday, and every single time we've done that.
And what's your ultimate goal you're hoping to get out of participating?
I kind of want to get lifeguard certified, maybe in the future, in the next few years, maybe.
And from there, were you hoping to transfer into something else, or were you wanting to be a lifeguard?
Just for as a vacation job when we come down here, because we live in Ashland, Oregon, so pretty far from the ocean, but this is where we come every summer.
And what about you? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I would want to be a lifeguard. For the summer.
Minutes had passed since the lifeguards dove off into the ocean. Then, through the fog and waves, the first of the lifeguards mulled through the tides before finally making their way onto the beach, followed by their peers. The last of the grueling trial involved the lifeguards then paddling out to sea once more, but now on a surfboard. Next, the junior lifeguards were to do their challenge, the junior trials being easier, as junior lifeguards were only required to run half as far and swim out to a human buoy, rather than all the way out to the orange buoy. When the relays were complete, everyone got to have some free time with their boards before putting them away into the trailers. Seeing all the parents come to support their kids was cool, but nothing compares to the sight of 70 youths hauling surfboards up the beach. Crescent Beach was being invaded by lifeguards. After the boards were put away and the food for the potluck was set up, it was finally time for the ceremony everyone had been waiting for. The lifeguards and assistant lifeguards lined up, and the junior lifeguards and their parents gathered round as the ceremony began.
Okay, we're going to acknowledge some things we've seen this week with the patch. Old School State Park Surfing Fair. Pretty cool patch. If you don't get one, you'll have something to strive for next year. And so yesterday we had a surfing competition and boogie boarding competition. Now, in front of this large audience, we'd like to announce the winner and the runner-up for each.
With everyone receiving their certifications and some being awarded patches, the ceremony finally came to a close. If you or someone else you know would like to join in and become a lifeguard, you can contact the program coordinator Dylan Clevenger at 707-499-9624 or by email at dylan.clevenger@parks.ca.gov. And program start dates can be found at www.parks.ca.gov/page_ID=26889. You can also view the California State Lifeguards Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CA, state with a capital S, lifeguards with a capital L /. You can also help fund the North Coast Junior Lifeguards by donating to the Redwood Parks Conservancy at redwoodparksconservancy.org /donate-RPC.